So, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is keeping well. Today, we will be starting the second chapter of our first unit, that is Dust of Snow. It's a very good poem written by Robert Frost, and the theme of the poem is healing power of the nature. So here we go. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. It means the poet wants to say that his day was all gloomy and dark, and a simple activity which is is often common in everyone's life. Crow on the hemlock tree shook some flakes of snow. Like dust of snow means flakes of snow. So it's common in everyone's life. So let me explain. The poem is set on a wintry day. So the day was wintry. That's why snow was there, right? There is a severe snowfall. The trees are covered with snow. Hemlock tree is considered to be a poisonous one, right? So the crow and the hemlock tree both are negative parts of the nature, but here both are doing a positive work. I mean, the mindset of poet was very good. So was very positive, in fact, right? So that's why he took these things in positive way. So the crow is symbolic of ill omen. Moreover, the poet is in a quiet and sulky and gloomy mood, right? So poet was very sad on that day. Now let us move on the second stanza. Then we will come at first stanza again, and we will see the rhyming schemes and all the poetic devices we will discuss later. So the second stanza has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of the day I had lived, which means the poet is in a very pensive mood, in a very sad mood, and considered his day lost and wasted so far. I mean, he considered that he has already lost his half of the day and was standing near the hemlock tree when this activity happens. So, however, the falling of snow has a tremendous impact on a sulky mood of the poet. This state of mind, the poet's state of mind changes, and he feels glad that he doesn't have to regret the whole day, right? So the crow has done a very great job. He, being an ill omen, this symbolize ill omen, has changed the mood of poet, right? So let's come on the first stanza, and we will be looking at the rhyming scheme. So how do we look at the rhyming scheme? Let me show you. This is the crow at last, and me, then snow, then tree, right? So the way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So here, if we see, wait a second. When we see crow, let's consider it A. And This is B. Then snow and crow are matching. Then it will also be A. And me and tree are matching. So it will be B. So the rhyming scheme is A, B, A, B, right? And let us look at the poetic devices. So poetic devices are the way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So crow and hemlock tree represents the dark and depressive side of the nature. All right. And let's move to the second stanza. We'll find the rhyming scheme of this stanza also. So let us see. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of the day I had rued. So here, if we see heart, let's consider heart and part. Almost sound similar, right? And mood and rude, they also sound similar. So the rhyming scheme is A, B, A, B. Hope you are getting it. And if we look at the poetic devices, alliteration. Like alliteration means when first letter repeats again and again. So has heard. So this S and this S sounds similar, right? And we also can see symbolism here. Symbolism means snow is a symbol of joy, right? Whereas hemlock trees symbolizes sorrow. So that's all. So let's look at the question and answers of this chapter. So question 1 is, what is this? So question number 1 says, what is a dust of snow? What does the poet say has changed his mood? Right? Hope you're getting the question. How has the poet's mood changed? Question is same. So what is a dust of snow? Dust of snow refers here flakes of snow, snowflakes, all right? And a sudden shower of snowflakes has changed the mood of poet. From which to what? From pensive to happy mood, right? From pensive to happy mood. And when we look at the third line of the question, third part, it says, how has the poet mood changed? So the answer will be a crow sitting on a hemlock tree. The crow was sitting on a hemlock tree, which is supposed to be a bad omen. Happens to shake some snowflakes on him, and that drastically changes his mood. So all these activities, poet is set in a wintry day, and there was a hemlock tree, and poet was standing near the hemlock tree. In fact, under the hemlock tree, and crow shook the snowflakes, and which overall changes the poet's mood. All right. So question number second, how does Frost is a poet of this poem, Robert Frost. How does Frost present nature in this poem? First part, what are the birds that are usually named in these poems? Do you think that crow is often mentioned in the poem? So let's answer one by one, right? So how does Frost present nature in this poem? So Robert Frost has presented nature in a very different way. As we know, crows are commonly used to depict the sorrow and hue, right? So whenever we call snow, sorry, whenever we say a crow, what do you think? Dark and humid and everything sad. So crows are not depicted as happiness, right? As a very good thing. So it's always referred as a negative part of the nature, right? So, but here Robert Frost, what he has done, he has depicted the, he has sorry. So the crow which is described in the poem in the source is the only source by which the poet's mood changes from pensive to happy. So it was a only so he is depicted crow in a very different way, right? And when we look at the first part says, what are the birds that are usually named in the poems? So what do you think? Which are the birds? Often you must have observed that hen, peacocks, and sparrows, etc. But not other than crow. Other than crow, almost every birds are used in the poem except crow. But Robert Frost has has represented crow in a very different way, in a very positive way. So creative. The answer will be the birds which are often named in poems are duck, dove, sparrows, pigeons, etc. Right? The crow is not often used in the poem. This is the third part which I'm answering, right? The crow is not often used in the poem. When I think of the okay, first let me read the question. Question says, do you think a crow is often mentioned in the poems? What image come to your mind when you think of a crow? So answer is, the crow is not often used in the poems. When I think of the crow, the only thing which strike in my mind is darkness, which means a sorrowful life and all bad incidents. So let's move to the second part. Again, what is a hemlock tree? What is a hemlock tree? Why doesn't the poet write about a more beautiful tree such as maple tree? So maple tree is very beautiful. If you have seen a maple tree or just Google it, you will find maple tree. So it's very colorful and very attractive, very alluring it is. So, but it says why poet hasn't used this maple tree, why he has referred hemlock tree. So very good question. So let me answer. A hemlock tree is considered as a poisonous tree, right? the poem seems to be a poet. I mean, Robert Frost. He is a nature lover, tremendous nature lover, and a very positive person who seeks positivity in negativity. I mean, when we read this poem, we we came out with this conclusion that Robert Frost is a very positive man. He's a very positive thinker. That's why his poem has changed the mindset. I mean, when we read his poems, almost every poem is based on the nature. Um, and whenever we read his poem, it's very motivating. So he's a very kind person who seeks positivity in negativity. And that's why he used the hemlock tree, which depicts evil or bad things. Right? I have already told you. Hemlock tree refers to what? Hemlock tree refers to sorrow. It symbolizes sorrow. So if a poisonous tree could change the mindset of the poet that day, standing near the tree, so why should he consider another tree, right? If this tree, hemlock tree, could work, so that's the answer. Let's move to the third question. What do the crow and hemlock tree represents? Again, the same question. Joy or sorrow? What does the dust of snow that crow shakes off the hemlock tree stands for? So the answer is crow and hemlock tree for sure represent sorrow, not joy. Right? So, and the dust of snow that crow shakes on the hemlock tree stand for energy, positivity, though it's a poisonous tree. And all right, but dust is dust, right? Dust will not change. So dust of the snow that crow shakes of a hemlock tree stand for energy, positivity, and happiness. Because, and why this is considered as the energy, positivity, and happiness? Because it changes the poet's mood from pensive to happy. He was very sad. He was in a very gloomy and pensive mood. And snowflakes, because of only because of snowflakes, his mood got changed from pensive to happy. So that's why the snow is considered to be an energy, is a kind of booster, energy, positivity, and happiness. So question third says, have there been time when you feel depressed or helpless? Have you experienced a similar moment that changed your mood that day? So it's so this is a question I'm leaving for you. You will be doing it because everyone must have faced different things, right? What I have faced, you may not have faced, and our incidents and experiences are different. So do the question. Thanks. Okay, let me read the summary of this chapter, right? So The Dust of Snow is a poem by Robert Frost, is a very poignant piece of creative creation which reflects on the healing power of the nature. So again, here we are reflecting on the theme of the poem, which is healing power of the nature. Through the poem, poet wants to convey that anything can, I mean, what we think may not be in reality. Reality may be different. So we have to change our mindset, right? Everywhere we may not be right. So, and though the poem is very brief, but it has a significant, profound meaning, right? This poem stands for guiding a person who is very sad and in a pensive mood. The falling of dust of snow changes the mood of the poet. If we look beyond our own convenience, we will realize that nature is beautiful even at its harshest, right? So hemlock tree and crow, these are the again and again I'm saying dark part of the nature. So every coin has two faces, right? So nature always also has two faces, but it depends on us. How do we see, how do we look at the nature, what we get from the nature, right? So uh, so this is, nature is beautiful even at its harshest. If only we pay attention to all that life gives, we will learn to appreciate it, right? The small incident of the snow falling on him changes the outlook of the poet. He is grateful to the life to see. Earlier, he thought that the poet thought that he has already wasted his day so far. I mean, almost more than half of the day he has wasted, and was regretting for whatever he has done. He has wasted it for. So, but after this incident, the particular incident in the poem, he feels so glad and grateful to be alive, right? To see such a wonderful sights of the nature. So it teaches us that we should not be desperate because there is always an opportunity to change our outlook. So that's all for the day. Do the question and answers and come to the next class. Thank you very much.